Hello, welcome to Video World, or VW as I called it until I got slapped with a big lawsuit by some car bastards. Carstards. This episode almost didn't happen, you know. Yeah, I got into one of my moods and I had to do the whole show in about 10 minutes. One of my moods, yeah. Full disclosure, Video World. Let's wrap. I got depression. On today's episode, timepieces, museum pieces, and think pieces. Game & Watch Gallery is a series of 4 titles for the Game Boy family, released between 1997 and 2002, and they're pretty much the best things ever. They take the old Game & Watch LCD games that helped put Nintendo on the map, and spruce them up with Mario bits in order to make them more palatable to the grizzled modern gamer. They're no more complicated than the sort of Tiger Electronics LCD games based on popular movies, but cleverly designed and with a challenge that mounts up subtly until it's absolute carnage and there are babies everywhere and they're all going to die! You did that! You tell the mother that her monkey's son is dead! The first 3 are available on the 3DS Virtual Console for some pitiful amount of money, and I think that the 4th one, Game & Watch Gallery Advance, is on the Wii U Virtual Console, but I don't know that for a fact and I'm not checking. Anyway, they're all absolutely worth it. They're quality products with great games and plentiful unlockables, and they don't get nearly enough respect in this world of MIT mapping and Motion Plus. They don't include the watch bit of Game & Watch though, so they can all quite frankly fuck off. Are video games art? Ooh, go on, let's do that. Let's sort out whether or not video games are art. Does it matter? What do they mean to you? What do they mean to me? Excitement? Disappointment? A slowly sinking feeling of dread? Who cares? It doesn't matter if there are. It's not important. You demand they be recognised as art. You sound like a fucking clitoris. It's not important to whether or not you enjoy yourself playing them. All this Gears of War is fun, but it's not art, is it? Better stop, better put the controller down. You're standing in an art gallery looking at, I don't know, some modern art, packet of Rolos on a plinth. You're like, that's not art. What happens when you decide? What happens when you say it's not art? What happens to the Rolos? Nothing. They're still delicious. They don't change form or content. Art games, that's a bullshit term, isn't it? Oh, you don't like Fez? Is it better because it's art? Graphics, gameplay, sound, control, artness, it doesn't affect the game, does it? If the story resonates with you, if it does something clever with its mechanics it doesn't make it better than Gunstar Heroes because it's an allegory for your dead cat or whatever. I mean, art is good. I like art. I like video games. I don't think they're the same thing, personally. I think a good video game is a good video game and a piece of art is a piece of art. And if you disagree, that's fine. But if you think people are looking at you and going, he's playing video game, that's not art, what a dickhead. They're not. And if they were, who cares? You can enjoy games on any level you want to. That's why they're good. You can go playing fucking Halo with your pals or whatever. You can go and play The Witness, all like, he cuts to the bone. And you're having a worthwhile experience either way. It's fine. Are video games art? Not a relevant or interesting question. And if they're not, what then? Are people not going to write about them anymore? No. Are people not going to analyse them? No. Those things will always happen. Games will always be fun. Art? Fart. Fucking care, mate. I know what you want. You want frogs. This isn't even a real frog. It's just Super Mario in a frog costume. I can't see this feature lasting much longer, to be honest. My list of 5 things in episode 2 went down quite well. I got a BAFTA for it. Now here's a list of retro game compilations for the PS2 that I think aren't shite. And 1. Activision Anthology gets the presentation absolutely spot on by going all in with the 80s theme, featuring a selection of popular songs from the era from Twisted Sister, Men Without Hats and the like, and a great little 1980s bedroom menu. I mean, look at all the Atari carts on a rack. How fucking cool is that? The answer is fairly cool. The games on offer are classics as well, like Pitfall, Crackpots, Keystone Capers, and the still terrific River Raid, a really early example of proper risk-reward gameplay. I'm running low on fuel. Do I collect it or do I shoot it for points and keep going in the hope that there'll be more? It's still tense and it's great stuff. I think my favourite Activision Anthology feature is the inclusion of the patches. Back in the day, setting certain scores allowed you to send off proof to Atari and receive a so-on patch in return. Isn't that just so much better than an achievement? And Anthology faithfully recreates those conditions, giving you a gallery of patches as you unlock them. Also unlockable are incredibly cheesy original 80s commercials, and the Mega Mania one is carved into my mind for the rest of my life. Brilliant compilation. As well as PS2, it was released on GBA with more games, but obviously none of the commercials, and later on PSP as Activision Hits Remixed. All well worth your time and money. This is a collection that's faithful and full of love for the source material. 2. Taito Legends features some absolute stone-cold classics like Bubble Bobble, one of its sequels to Fantastic Rainbow Islands, Space Invaders, and, seen here, the New Zealand story, alongside a host of others. It's a lot of good stuff for a low price, but pales in comparison to its sequel, the cleverly named Taito Legends 2, which features 39 games with very few stinkers among them. The really challenging Crazy Balloon, the classic Kicks, Quicks or Kicks, I've never known, Bubble Bobble predecessor Chackum Pop, Ninja Action and Legend of Cage, Kage? Cage? I've never known, Demented Dragon Action and Silver Lion, one of the coolest named games ever, by the way. One of my favourite games, Camel Try, which was released on SNES as On the Ball, I believe, and supported the SNES mouse. Really good game. The terrific and slightly creepily named Liquid Kids, Darius Gaiden, Elevator Action Returns, G Darius. The list just goes on and on. I'm serious. That's like not even a third of the great games on this thing. Sadly, it's not flawless. There's a game on there called Metal Black, and it's been thoughtlessly ported, and the controls don't actually work like they do in the arcade. And that is to say, there's functions missing, which renders it nearly unplayable. But still, for what it gets right, this is arguably the greatest compilation of all time. 3. Capcom Classics Collection is absolutely essential. You've got Ghouls and Ghosts on there, as well as Super Ghouls and Ghosts. That's it. That's all you need. You should have already bought it. Oh, you want more? Final Fight, son! Forgotten Worlds, Commando. Its sort of sequel, Mercs, one of my all-time favourite arcade games. Lovely, lovely Sun Sun. Street Fighter 2 Turbo. And it's got lovely presentation, unlockable cheats and concept art. The value is absolutely bananas, and there's a sequel too, Capcom Classics Collection 2. This one's got some deeper cuts, like the almost impossibly hard Black Tiger, wacky belt scroller Captain Commando, marvellous little gem Cheeky Boys, also known as Mega Twins, the fabulously varied and creative classic Strider, Super Street Fighter 2, and gorgeous Obscurity 3 Wonders, as well as many more weirdo games. 4. Midway Arcade Treasures is a long series, 3 games on PS2 alone. The first one is excellent as it contains formative games that are still fun to play today, such as Joust, Defender, Sinistar, and a frankly perfect Robotron 2084. It also features the glorious Gauntlet, Clax, and Marble Madness, featuring the music I want played as my casket is lowered into the ground. It also features Paperboy, but you can't win them all. It comes with a load of interviews and extras, and they're all incredibly shit looking with a bitrate of approximately 1 bit.
The old video games are...
The sequel is kind of amazing. It starts off with APB, which is a really classic what the fuck do I even do kind of game. Then you get Gauntlet 2, which is like double Gauntlet. But the main event is Mortal Kombat! You get MK1 and MK3. What the fuck? Not even MK2 or Ultimate MK3, aka the ones people actually like. Thankfully, they make up for this with the insanity that is Narc, and the pure brilliant blasting of Total Carnage, another one of my favourites. It's also got the truly demented Primal Rage, which is Dinosaur Mortal Kombat, maybe the best game of all time? It seems like it probably is, based on the premise alone. There's a third Arcade Treasures, but it's all racing games like Stun Runner and San Francisco Rush. Hydro Thunder's on there, but none of the games run very well, so no, it's a no. 5. Last, and well, least really, is Atari Anthology. This contains about 90 Atari 2600 games, and they're all basically shit garbage. The main event is a bunch of arcade originals, and while they're all classics, well, every single port of Asteroids loses the original shimmering, glowing vector lines that make the cabinet so utterly magical to this day. You do get beguiling Nuclear Apocalypse Simulator Missile Command, as well as a less well-known but wonderful vector title called Major Havoc, which almost justifies the collection on its own with its varied and exciting gameplay. Overall though, I can't quite recommend this one. I'm aware that there weren't a lot of jokes in this episode, so I'm just going to wrap things up with these video game jokes I wrote for you. Okay, 1. Knock knock, who's there? That's DLC. 2. An Englishman American and a Russian walk into a bar and they just start insulting one another in the most bitter, racist, homophobic terms. And I walk in and I'm like, what is this? Any given online game that exists? Okay, 3. This is the last one that I dreamed. I dreamed I was beating the final boss of Guilty Gear XX, and when I woke up, my Eno was gone. The final boss is called Eno. She's like she takes her top off. That's